Hey Blade fans, welcome back to OG Blade Reviews. Hope you're all doing well today. This just arrived from North Mountain Blade. Took about a week to get here by USPS. And that's coast to coast, so, first class mail, what have you. But I'm OG Blade Reviews and I'm glad to have you here. I got to tell you the truth. I was so excited when I checked this thing out that I said, I can't wait a few days or a week to do the review. You got to see this now. And it's unusual in a few different respects, and there's a very interesting backstory to this. But let me not bore you with the box. Here we have what you will usually see if you've purchased from North Mountain before. It's a little cardboard cutout or possibly a sticker of one of their chop knives. And they go by button lock chop, kickstop chop. Everything has the word chop in it. I don't know, kind of like chopping action, or kind of like a Chinese chop, which is a signature stamp and so forth. Anyway, microfiber cloth. Yes, it is branded faintly there in North Mountain. We got some foam on top. We don't have the usual plastic case, but look what is inside here. If I can get it out, my God. Nice dense foam. That's a good thing. Check that out. First thing you're going to notice, and don't go away, there is no clip, okay? But I was willing to go that route and get a leather belt sheath or a pocket slip or what have you, just to be able to carry this beauty. It is a ton, and it is so darn solid. And of course, it's in SLD Magic steel. We'll talk about a little bit more about that in a minute too, because I want to take the opportunity to discuss the whole idea with the 3 layers and the Hommage and so on and so forth. Okay. Anyway, backstory. This is called the Lucky Dog. Kind of a takeoff on Mad Dog Knives. Now, Shane, the owner or main proprietor of North Mountain Blade, and they're located in California on the U.S. side. And yes, they do business with both Japan and with China as far as the production of the steel and the making of the knives. He got infatuated with Lucky Dog knives and their whole handle design and blade designs and so forth. Now, Lucky Dog knives at this point, Mad Dog knives, good Lord. Mad Dog knives, okay? MKM, Mad Dog knives. Shane became fascinated with their knives. Their knives are custom now, and their fixed blades are going for about $1,700, $1,800 if you can get them. Okay, and apparently the owner, and I'm not going to get too much into the backstory, was a former Navy SEAL or someone involved in design and production, was a Navy SEAL. Anyway, Shane became a huge fan, and he reached out to them and said, basically, do you want to collaborate? Can I use your design? So on and so forth. He said he waited 2 years and finally heard back after kind of pestering the owner at Mad Dog Knives. And he said, no, we don't want to do it. Then Shane asked him, well, do you mind if I make it so long as I don't use your name? And he said, yeah. So there you go. This is North Mountain's homage to Mad Dog Knives. And it is a folder. I'm not sure if Mad Dog does folders. Haven't looked too deeply into it. But you have here a hand-filling handle. This feels like a short Skinner or fixed blade field knife, okay? Blade's going to come in just a tiny bit over 4 inches. There is your 3-layer steel. You can clearly see the 3 layers. SLD Magic's in the middle, and we have, I believe, stainless for slabs on the side. It is a, see if I can get a little more light going here so you can see. It is a liner lock, but that liner lock is locking up to about 50%. We have full contact between the liner and the blade. And that's a beautiful thing. And the other beautiful thing about a liner is, unlike a frame lock where I suppose you could fathom that by rough use of it, you could disengage it by sliding over here, it's not highly likely with a liner lock. You do see that it's slightly proud of the handle, okay? But we have excellent engagement. We have a beautiful chamfer here. Chamfer, if I didn't say it correctly, chamfer. There is your kickstop logo, Lee Williams kickstop. That is a patented technology. And Lee kickstop's getting a little bit of kickback, as he should. It's on bearings, near as I can tell. Got plenty of gap in there, and I can see the brass colored bearing housings. So, and the way it moves, definitely. But listen to this opening. Oh man, it's satisfying. As partially the sound of the kickstop going out of the way. Here you can see that the kickstop mechanism, if you're unfamiliar with it, has free play and is its own independent part that is locked in place when the blade is closed. Unlike at least one other knife that I had from them, which was the Super Chop or something like that with a kickstop, where this was wide open in the back and I ended up raking my finger across it. I slipped off of the flipper tab and onto the blade. But this blade, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's set way down in there. Way down in there. You can't possibly touch it. Plus you've got a full backspacer that's not really a backspacer, but it's part of the G10 handles. Beautiful G10. I'll tell you right now, I handled this knife for 10 minutes. I ordered another one. For 150 bucks, you cannot go wrong with this amazing solid knife. If you can put up with the fact that no, you can't clip it in your skinny jeans. Sorry for my apparent sarcasm, but it's not a thin knife and it's not that kind of knife. It's not a gentleman's knife. It's not a skinny little thing that you want to deep carry in your pocket. No. This is one that'll ride on the belt, similar to a Buck 110 or what have you, in the old style, old school form. And I know about old school. I can go back through a few old schools. I'll just put it that way. There's that beautiful half-polished blade there with the differentiation line. And again, I said I'd talk about that later, and I am going to bring out some samples to compare, because there was a bit of a mild tiff recently with regards to some comments that I put up on another website, another YouTube channel, regarding the fact that I thought my best call that was laser etched in. Wasn't doubting that it was 3-layer Sanmai steel. Not at all. That's evident. But the demarcation line, and I believe that is called the Hazaki, okay? So where you get the changeover from the core to the slabs on the side, that is called Hazaki. All right, more on that later. I will get back to it. It is kind of a timely topical topic. But we're going to measure it up real quick so you can get an idea of the scale of it. It does not come with a pouch, but I've rustled up a few on Amazon that are coming my way. We're pretty much 9-inch exactly overall. And the blade, I'm getting a few different measurements on it. If I go straight from the tip to the handle, I get 4 1/16. And I get about the same if I go there, and then we've got a cutting edge. You know, you can't really properly measure a cutting edge unless you put your tape along the portion of the edge. It's about 3 7/8. Going metric crazy, we will do that. 22.5 centimeters. And a blade of 10.3 centimeters, 103 millimeters. Very good sizings on this. It's a substantial knife. We'll get to the weight in a moment too. In inches, handle thickness 0.78, a little over 3/4 of an inch. Oh no, I can't do that, can't carry that. I'm going to say 0.18 thickness on the steel, on the blade stock, and 4.5 millimeters on the blade stock. Exactly 20 millimeters on the handle thickness. I love the action on it, I really got to tell you. Okay, what do we got in here? We're going to go around to grams. Okay, in grams, the weight is 223.5 grams, or 7.9 rounding up, 7.9, almost 8 ounces. Okay, now you got it. Now you got all the specs that you may love or you may dislike. But I'm telling you, boy, that feels good. And in emulating the Mad Dog handle, I can tell why Mad Dog knives are so well regarded. Besides the fact that they forge the hell out of their blade somehow with a real magical kind of a process. I remember reading about them 15 years ago or more. I was, at the time, vaguely interested in picking one up for $500 or $600. Yeah, that's when they were cheap. But this is the Lucky Dog by North Mountain. And I really want to thank Shane for being so persistent with getting this one done. I saw something about this being available in 3V a while ago, maybe when he first came out with it. But I like the pricing on SLD Magic Steel. Let's take a look at a button lock chop. This is one that came out recently because he's got the 45 cal sort of thumb disc here. Really nice button lock. We've got a brass surround on the button. We've got brass for the opening disc. You've got your SLD Magic Steel with their magical Hazuki? Oh boy. Hazaki. You're not going to trust me at all if I keep messing up the Japanese names. Okay, so you can see the size differential there, about an inch longer overall. Yeah, inch longer overall. And our blade, you can do the math, don't need to really do this. 3.5 inch blade on this guy, so a half inch, a little better than half an inch longer on the Lucky Dog. Then here is another kickstop chop. This is the tie handle. Unfortunately, only milled out on one side with the grenade grip there, and smooth on the other. But this one is a Sanmai steel as well, and this is ZDP 189, an entirely different steel than SLD Magic. And this core is like 66 to 67 Rockwell. It is extremely hard. Here's an unusual thing though. Maybe not unusual. There is a straight line differentiation, all right, on this one, and a wavy line on this one. Now recently, Shane went out of his way to dispel all the chat that was going on, and he put this to a belt sander. I think it was one of his newer fixed blades, a small 3.5 inch fixed blade. And he basically, destroyed it. Well, ground it down a little bit more. And he showed that the line was still there. Now, I knew the line would still be there. What I didn't know is that it was a wavy line that was still there. I asked Shane, I reached out to him through Instagram DM, and he said that he is not even told by the steel factory how they make the steel. So it's a secret. Whether or not he knows and just doesn't want to say, or whether he really doesn't know, I'll leave that up to further speculation. Although, on social media these days, there's so much speculation, so many rumors, so much stuff going on that you believe, don't believe. But, as somebody that likes to look deeply into these things, I really needed to know how you get this wavy line where the steels meet. And near as I can tell by doing kind of an AI search, it has to do with the welding process. Yes, there's a welding process that goes on to sandwich the steel. Apparently that's a kind of a deep secret. Maybe I've got to get a hold of, a metallurgist, find out. Maybe could get Laren Thomas, Knife Steel Nerds. He may know. Maybe he's listening to this. That would be great if he was. I'd be honored. How do you get that wavy line that isn't etched, that isn't lasered in, that is, I can see that maybe the polishing, is after the fact, because some of that polishing kind of reaches up onto the side here where it's been bead blasted first, You do see that? I mean, that's pretty easy to figure out. Again, my initial question wasn't doubting that this was 3-layer steel. Apparently some people were doubting that as well. It was, how do you get the wavy line when you're just basically creating a sandwich? All right? You don't have it here. And I'll show you one more where you don't have it that is a North Mountain blade. This is one of my very first fixed blades from them. This is the incredible Ninja Tonto. That's what he's calling it. It is SLD magic. There you go, SLD magic. But do you see a wavy line? No. Got to look real careful because it's hand brushed. Just a straight line. Is it 3-layer? Yes, it is. Yeah, you can barely see it, but it's definitely 3-layer. But there, if I can get the light just right, not sure I can. There you go. There is your line, but it's blended in perfectly. It is not wavy, however. No more so is it wavy. I gotta get this back in the sheath. It's a snug fit. And I don't want to cut myself. Okay, put that on the side. But here you go, straight line. And I do have some knives from Monterey Bay Knives that have the ZDP 189 steel, and they don't have a wavy line. So Shane does tell me that by some miraculous process, they are able to weld together these two steels, the stainless on the outside, hardened core on the inside, and get what looks like a hamon. But it's not a hamon. Why is it not a hamon? Because a hamon is the product of hand forging and hand hardening the steel by putting clay on the blade. Very ancient process. And knives that are costing $100, $120, $150, sorry, they're not hand forged. But the factory is doing an amazing job. And I must say, get the others out of the way here. I must say that the edges are at least 90% of the time coming through blazingly sharp. And I've got some paper to hopefully prove that. Because I did check this edge. Oh man, like butter. Just as sharp as you'd ever want it. out of the box. So I recommend go spend yourself 150 bucks. Get one of these. I ordered a second one today in kind of an interesting two-tone tan and black handle. They're both the same price. The lucky dog. And you'll be a lucky dog if you get one. And I don't get any commission. May not be your jam, but I got to tell you, you want a solid knife. Steel liners, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Steel liners, weight relieving on the inside. Just a hell of a knife. Locks up, God, like a drum. All you got to figure out is your carry method. And if you can't break away from carrying it on a clip in your pocket, no problem. Get something where you can. Or if you've got some mechanical prowess, some machining prowess, put a clip on there. Why not? Be well. Take care. Stay safe.